Okay, hey guys, welcome to the first part of me going through the spoiler review of this beautiful, beautiful film. I'm sure that most of you have already watched this. As for those of you who have, been unfortunate, have not been able to get HBO's streaming services in your area, uh, I'm sure you just have to be patient a little longer. So before I proceed, this is a spoiler review once again. So if you can be a little bit more patient, please wait for it and watch the film before you come to this spoiler review. Because let me tell you, the feeling of going to this film, actually watching this film, because I can't go anywhere. I gotta watch it from where I am. But the feeling of watching this film, being a fan of a person of following the movement, and following everything Zack has been doing as a director for this film, you go in with a lot of knowledge of what is going to come out. Because the way Zack Snyder treated this film is as though this film would have never been released. So a lot of spoilers, a lot of backstory and information about this film was already released prior to this film being actually approved and released. And because of that, I felt that my point of view, to watch this film was kind of skewed because I knew so much about it. So when I watched this film, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, that's gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and it felt sort of predictable. And I felt really bad because if I had watched this without that knowledge, and especially without that polluted version that we got in 2017, I think I would have loved this so much more, and I feel guilty for the fact that I can't appreciate it in all its glory just because I knew what was going to happen in this film. And similarly, or rather, in a similar situation, there's a lot of other people who have supported the movement and they've given the reviews, and I'm so happy that they all enjoy it. But I'm sure they all feel the same. We know about what's going to happen. We know this story. We know what Zach has been working on. And on the other hand, on the complete opposite of the spectrum, I managed to get my wife and a few other of my friends who are not really fans of Snyder's movement, who are not following him, but they're fine watching a movie, as is, like, okay, whatever, is a movie. And I've got a lot of great reviews from them, and they've really appreciated this film, not as a superhero film like the Avengers and what Marvel has been doing. They felt that this story actually is so deep and has so much meaning. And I felt that the way they described it was quite impressive. They didn't see it as a superhero film, they saw it as a film of these very, very powerful, godlike individuals coming to this world. In different ways, and their troubles and their stories. And it was really amazing to understand that even not being a fan of DC, you can appreciate this film and the layers it has. And I feel that this movie is the type of movie that's going to bring a lot more fans into the world of DC Comics and the lore and the story behind it. And even if they never end up being comic book fans, or they never end up watching any other type of version of the Justice League, I feel that they'll still be able to appreciate this one. And it's going to be something that we're going to be looking at for years to come, because the amount of layers this film has, and it's really, really amazing. It has impressed me so far. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into part one. Don't count on it, Batman. So I have the movie up on my second screen here, and obviously I can't show it to you guys because I'm a small channel. They would destroy me if they knew I put this up. So anyway, I am going to try my best to break down the first part by just slowly browsing through it. And what I'm going to do is try to pick out some of the details that I'm going to see. And before if you're wondering whether you're going to get like a rating or anything like that in this spoiler review, you're not. I've already given my rating in the non-spoiler review. This one is more so of a breakdown of the film. So I don't really want to milk this film and make like 40 or 50 episodes, as much as I would like to. But at the same time, I feel that I just want to go through the parts that was already given to this film and break it down accordingly, and maybe I'll go into more speculations and stuff if there's more news about a follow-up film. By God's grace. And at the same time, I'm aware that there are a lot of other films coming out. That's not Justice League, and I'll probably be getting into that in the future. So anyway, let's just go on. So part one, don't count on any Batman. So in this, right before part one starts, we get to see the film continuing from the death of Superman, and it's really impressive because we did not get this entire sequence in the Joss Whedon version, which means we didn't ever know the reason of why the mother boxes awoke. In this film, we are given proper context to explain that the mother boxes awoke because they were waiting for Superman to die, and when Superman died and they heard his kind of war cry of him being stabbed by Doomsday and then Doomsday and then dying in the hands of Doomsday. You can see him give one last battle cry where he's just screaming away, and these waves of energy burst out of him. And as much as they look like sound waves, I do not think they're purely sound waves. I think they're electromagnetic, similar to how his powers work. And the reason I believe that's so because if it was purely sound waves, Batman's ears would have just burst. Uh, but rather they are electromagnetic waves, which is why you can also see them pushing dust, pushing the waters, and creating ripples throughout the planet. And it's really impressive because they're depicting exactly how powerful Superman is, and just his war cries alone can shake the entire planet. And we do know from Man of Steel and BVS that Superman is still growing in strength. His powers have not fully come to the the pinnacle of what Superman is capable of. So as we see him grow, this is another point where we see him evolve, which is what this story is going to be about. We see Superman reach a new chapter, which is why Zack was saying that the black suit is like the right way to show his he that he is evolving. If you wore the same suit throughout, you don't really get to that point where you know, like, oh, this is when he's reborn again. But okay, so anyway, these ripples go, they activate the mother boxes, and I felt that was so cool. They showed shots of Tamaskira, shots of Atlantis, shots of the one on Earth where Cyborg is sitting, and the ripples wake up the mother boxes, and I felt that the way Zack thought of that was just so impressive. So, of course, I'm giving credit to all the other people who put in work as well, especially Chris Terrio, who is the screenplay writer and all that. So, whenever I mention Zack, I'm just mentioning his team as a whole. Don't just take me that, oh, I'm only giving kudos to one guy. I'm really happy with the way this entire Justice League team handled this. So, right after that, we come into this part one, which is Don't Count on It Batman, and we see Batman walking through. I'm not sure. I think it's some part like maybe Greenland, Iceland. I don't know, but it looks like a really cold area, mountains. It could even be like Ireland or something like that. And what happens is Batman is essentially beginning his recruitment, and he's looking for the Aquaman, Arthur Curry. And I love the way he says Arthur Curry, protector of the oceans, the Aquaman. It's really cool the way he comes out, Bruce Wayne just doing Bruce Wayne stuff, showing money to people and trying to recruit Aquaman. And I felt that this was pretty nice. It's just a little wait for to kick off Batman actually trying to do something. And of course, he doesn't get Aquaman involved, but I really like the way Jason Momoa is introduced, and he's like. I don't like you coming in here digging into my business. The way he says it and the way he coolly walks into the water and disappears. I felt was really really nice to see as an introduction, and also way better than the stupid thing we saw in 2017 where he just like flops into the water backwards on his back and it looks so painful. But in this one, he really disappears into the water, and you can see that it's really nice. Then you can see that the people that are there left, they sort of worship him like a god, and I felt that that was really, really, nice to see. The fact that all of these people are really depicted like beyond human, and the respect that they are given as characters was really, really nice. Then of course we get to see shots of Martha for a short while, just to show that I think her house is under. Um, what do you call this, foreclosure or something, because the bank, she can't pay up the rent or whatever, or not rent, I think it's the balance payment for the house or something like that. And then you see Batman being received by Alfred, who takes him on a plane, and he's just reporting to Alfred that he couldn't recruit Aquaman. And then we get to see Lois Lane getting coffee at like this coffee shop. And if you guys haven't seen it, in that scene there's a cameo of the god himself, Zack Snyder, in the coffee shop. And I swear to God, I saw this by myself, and I wanted to post it on Reddit, but for some stupid reason, the what do you call this? The Reddit that I wanted to share it on was had absolutely ridiculous rules, and it just took me forever to get the post up. And I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna post it. Screw you guys. I'm just gonna talk about it in my own show. So yeah, Zack Snyder is having a cameo there, and it's really cool. Nice to see the God having a cup of coffee on a rainy day, as well as Lois Lane walks up to this police officer, who I believe she is just kind of getting permission from to walk up to the monument where Superman's statue previously was. Now it's shattered, but there's like this kind of, I think, like a pedestal or some sort, or like a slab of stone that says, "If you seek his monument, look around you." And everyone's put up their flowers and all of that, and you can really feel the death of Superman. And it quickly cuts, I mean, not really quickly, it transitions beautifully towards the city, and then it transitions into England, and or rather the UK. And in the UK we get to see this sort of heist going on. And the heist scene, we have this guy who comes in to set up a bomb, and they this is this group of reactionary terrorists, I believe the guy says. And they essentially just want to kill a whole bunch of kids, and I think, yeah, get some reaction, because that's what reactionary terrorists do. And obviously they have some more motivation, but that's not what this film is about. Instead, what happens is Wonder Woman comes in to the rescue. She saves a whole bunch of kids in this really wicked action sequence. And at first, I was like, "Whoa, these people are just being ragdolled everywhere," and I was wondering whether that's, like that was cool or not. But now that I think about it, if a super powerful being was moving at super speed, you would look like a ragdoll, because I mean, for the fact that you're getting whacked around. And if you think about it, if you watch like real life footage, like CCTV footage, or footages of just mishaps around the world. I've seen like all these, what is that show? There's a show like on AXN that used to show like a world's, like one of the worst things that can happen to you or something like that. And then there's this episode I saw where this guy is in front of a lorry tire, like a tire of a lorry, and the tire explodes, and he's literally ragdolled through the air when the explosion happens. And there's no sense of whether his body has bones or whether the bones are still intact, but he just flip-flops and flies across the screen as the camera captures it. So I think it's actually rather realistic, the way these people have been ragdolled as Wonder Woman goes through them, because Wonder Woman is like that exploding tire. She's just so powerful compared to an ordinary person, that she's capable of this. So she saves the kids, pretty cool, and then she blows this guy up. I felt that was a little bit unnecessary, but still, it just shows the gravity of the situation that Wonder Woman is in. She doesn't want to risk anyone's lives. She just wants to get this over with, and even if she has to kill a guy to do that, she will do it. And I felt that that was absolutely fine, because as you know, these people are terrorists. There's already one person that she has captured in the hallway, and I believe that guy is still alive somewhere, so they can always investigate. And getting rid of the big baddie with the auto machine gun was quite important. Then we go to Tamaskira, and this is where things start to really get heated, right? We have this beautiful pacing of from Lois Lane to a quick action sequence to something that's really intense, which is the mother box in Tamaskira now is starting to call out to Steppenwolf. And as it happens, unfortunately, this was the first mother box to call out to Steppenwolf. And for that reason, he's able to locate it in Tamaskira. And I felt this was really unfortunate for the Atlanteans, but this is just the situation. I mean, if it was the one that was in Atlantis that activated first, Themyscira would have been pretty difficult to find. Because you don't just catch Amazon swimming around in the oceans or walking around in the city, so you can't really catch them and ask them, where is Themyscira? But because the first one that activated was in Themyscira, Steppenwolf was able to locate it, and he shows up, and he looks amazing. I must say, the gloss, the glimmer in his armor, the way he looks. I mean, I mean, he's something else, right? He's a whole different animal in this film, and I absolutely love it. And he comes and he's like, "I will bathe in your fear," and the way he says that was just so freaking menacing. And the reply from Queen Hippolyta, man, she's like, "Amazons, show him your fear," and they're all like, "We have no fear, man. This is Zack Snyder's 300." Like the female version of 300, and it's so beautiful, and the way he depicts these Amazonians was so respectful. I felt he's really showing these warrior women give their best to protect this mother box. And I mean, with all due respect, even in real life, looking at some of these women, they look like they got each everyone could take me on in real life, and they would still win in the fight because they look absolutely like buffed up, right? They're stacked. They look like they go to the gym, like as part of their daily routine. Like, I don't know, man. These people, they look like gods already. But it's really cool. They try to stop Steppenwolf and his army, but they're unable to. And they're really trying to show the strength of the parademons as well, because the demons are capable of fighting these Amazons toe to toe. So the Amazons are not really superhuman, right? They are just humans at peak. Physical fitness. So they are basically the strongest version of a human that a human can be. They're essentially like all gold medalist Olympians, which is the best way you can think of them. They're each capable of hitting world records in running, in weightlifting, those kinds of things. So they're not superhuman, but they are really, really the best of the best. And because of the fact that the Amazons cannot age, I keep saying Amazonians. I'm sorry, it's the Amazons, and for the fact that the Amazons cannot age, it gives them the ability to continuously learn and improve their battle skills. And despite that, these parademons are pretty menacing. They come with advanced technology, and they try to stop Hippolyta, but she escapes with a box outside the dome that Steppenwolf attacks. And this is interesting. All these women, they lock themselves inside the dome. Even the last two at the end of the door. And the reason they lock themselves inside is because they want to form like a fodder, so that Steppenwolf doesn't get out. But instead, what happens is, um, as they are breaking these pillars, I realize their real objective is to just bring down the whole thing and to prevent anyone from getting out in time. So that they can take them all down with them. But what happens is, despite the crash of the entire dome, Steppenwolf just jumps out with his entire army from the sea up into the sky and crash lands onto like an Amazon and her horse. And man, he just whacks the crap out of everyone. He tosses the Amazons, the horses, he slashes them. It's brutal. It's like war. And I'm so impressed with this scene. Even when Joss Whedon did it, I was really impressed, and I knew that this is not something Joss Whedon is capable of, not something anyone in Marvel is capable of. I'm sorry, but with all due respect, no one is capable of this warlike scene. This is Zack Snyder. There's no one that has done this, and I think. There are some, maybe Lord of the Rings, yeah, maybe Lord of the Rings, and maybe some, I think, early depictions of war, maybe, like in pure war films, like maybe King Arthur, those sort of films. But no, definitely not Joss Whedon. So Steppenwolf gets the mother box successfully, escapes the Amazons, and Hippolyta is left with a whole bunch of dead Amazons, and she has to make the decision to call back Diana, who has been missing for 5,000 years. That's right. Diana has been in the world for 5,000 years in Zack Snyder's Justice League. This means that the Wonder Woman films that we got are not canon to the Snyderverse. They are canon in the DCEU because, as you all probably have read or heard, or if you have not, if this is news to you, let me tell you that Zack Snyder had an interview with I believe the DC Cinematic Reddit or something, and he spoke up about how Joss Whedon's version is what the Warner Brothers consider as canon. So he's accepting that, And for that reason, he has no reason to hold back in terms of coming up with his true vision, which is the fact that Diana left Themyscira almost 5,000 years ago. Almost. Because we're not exactly sure. It can't possibly be exactly 5,000 because a bunch of things happened 5,000 years ago. Darkseid was here. Uxus, right? Before he was Darkseid. Uxus was here 5,000 years ago. And, uh, and she says the sacred fire has not burned for 5,000 years. But here's the thing, there's another possibility, which is the fire has not burned for 5,000 years, but Diana has not been around that long. So the first Wonder Woman is still possibly canon, but not highly unlikely the second one. That's for sure because the powers don't make any sense. But the first Wonder Woman is still possible because Diana is still young. These women existed 5,000 years ago. The fire has not burned in 5,000 years, but because the stories of the fire may have been told to Diana, she will understand what the fire means. So that is the second possibility. And now that I think about it, it's most likely the second one. So the first Wonder Woman, World War, and all that is when Diana gets to learn about herself. She's like a real noob and all that. Yeah, it's possible, but in an Elseworld photo that Zack had posted, let me see if I can look it up. Um, Elseworld Wonder Woman, Snyder. So there's an Elseworld photo that Zack put up, and I believe in that photo, yeah, I can find it on IGN. I'm pretty sure there are many other depictions of it. It shows that she was in war in 1854 as well, which means she was already out there in the world even before she met Steve Trevor. And for this, did I say that right? Steve Trevor, right? Yeah, Steve Trevor. Thank God. Okay, I don't want to get my characters wrong. Oh God, I'm pretty sure you guys will kill me. So, yeah. So that means she was out in the world fighting 100 years before she even met Steve Trevor. And if this is what Zack was going for, I respect it as well. So Diana could have been out in the real world for thousands of years, maybe 2,000, maybe not 5,000 years, but she has been out there way longer than as was depicted in the first Wonder Woman movie, which shows that she only went out during World War One, I think, and then after that, only she learned how to love. She learned how to, how the world of men works and all that stuff. So there is still room for changes between these two versions, and I'm not really sure. I really want to know more about Zack Snyder's lore to it because it sounds so much cooler than the version that we got. And Wonder Woman 2 is a film I'm never going to watch again for obvious reasons because it is just a total work of comedy and color. And we all know because they want to sell Wonder Woman toys to kids. That's the whole agenda behind it. So, yeah, there is that. Anyway, that was all that was shown in part one. And let me tell you, it is close to 35 minutes, part one, and it's really cool. It's a great opening. I feel that if we saw this in the episodic version over, like a few weeks, it would have probably come out together with part two, because I think they're both around half an hour plus, just slightly over half an hour plus. So together they come to about an hour, an hour plus maybe. So yeah, that's about it. So that's it from me for this episode, which is the part one breakdown of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is a film that is a must watch. Let me tell you that. And like it, don't like it, fine. I respect your opinion, and I'm all out open to it. But I mean, take it, I feel, as is, and do not compare it to the monstrosity that came out. You gotta remove it from your head, which I'm still unable to do. And I feel so upset that I can't remove it from my head just because of how it has scarred me for life watching such a horrible film. And if you can remove it from your head, or if you know someone who has never watched it, I think they will enjoy this film so much more, as did my oops, that's my cell again, as did my buddies and my wife. And yeah, I felt that their review was a lot more honest, And for the fact that they can enjoy it, I feel that it really shows how impressive this film is by itself. So, looking at the first part alone, I'm not sure if there were too many Easter eggs. We did get to see a bit of Tamaskira's landscape, a bit of Tamaskirian lore, just a quick scene, just a little scene here, a little scene there to kind of tell you that there's a bigger world out there. There is a bigger army of Tamaskira in that island. They were all just not alert that Steppenwolf was coming, so only those protecting the dome were fighting. Otherwise, it may have been a different fight. And also they were not prepared for Steppenwolf's entry. And similarly, before that, we get a little bit of information that Diana is now just working somewhere in England, and she was probably alerted when this gunfire was happening, so she must have been quite nearby to this. It looks like a museum or something, because these kids from school that she saves, they have come for some sort of a, what do you call this, class trip, right? So they were just lucky that the place they came to was the archive, or rather the museum that Diana was working in. And if they had gone to any other museum, it would have been unfortunate, they would have died. But because this was the museum, the Wonder Woman was able to show up and just beat the crap out of everyone else. And that was pretty cool. And also, prior to that, I don't think I missed too many Easter eggs besides the cameo of the god Zack Snyder himself. So let me just try to see if I can pull that up for you in a picture. Give me a sec. And there you go. There is Zack Snyder in all his glory sitting down in a coffee shop as Lois Lane is about to leave. And I felt that was pretty much that was the coolest part for me in part one. That was definitely my favorite moment. Despite all the amazing things that I saw, this was my favorite moment because that's the man himself, the legend that made this happen for us. So thanks to everyone else who definitely who supported this film and who came out and spoke about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, guys.